Well, it's Creative Performance Protest Day. I was going to be filming something very clever in the back garden, but unfortunately it's pouring with rain and the weather forecast is expecting a lot more over the next few days. So I'm reduced to what has in the COVID crisis become my bedroom office, which is my laptop set up on one of these breakfast trays on the end of my bed in my bedroom. And yeah, from there I keep my theatre company ticking over somehow. Turning the camera around the other way, I have a blank wall, so I'm sat on the pillows at the top of my bed with a blank wall behind me for video backdrops to do Zoom theatre performances. And for most of the people in my company, the situation is exactly the same. We're working from home as much as we can. We're creating work online using Zoom. Something a year ago that we wouldn't have even thought about doing, but we decided that we'd keep running somehow and keep some work going out over the COVID crisis rather than just disappearing and giving up. There's quite a lot of misconceptions amongst the public about theatre, say, asking why can't we return to the theatres because technically they're open, but obviously if you're going into, for example, a 500-seat theatre, and because of the quite necessary social distancing you can only sell 50 seats, you can't pay your cast and crew anything. So it becomes a moot point, really, logistically. So this is why we're working online, and it's very difficult, very cramped. I live in a very small bungalow with my mother, and if one of us is on a video conference or doing some work, then the other one of us has to remain absolutely silent and sit at the other end of the house. So it's very difficult and very stressful. And you've got some people that aren't always confident with how to use Zoom and video conferencing, so you have to spend a lot of time in support there. And you've also then got the added challenge that people assume that something on the internet will be free, so they don't want to pay online tickets for an online event, whereas we're turning around and saying, well, you know, we've got actors and crew who are professionals who need to be paid. So it's very difficult, and there's a massive mindset change, I think, for a lot of people. We're all having to adapt one way or the other, but how long this is sustainable, I couldn't begin to say. You know, you can probably go a few more months, a year or two maximum, creating stuff like this before either there's a massive change in the outlook on work put out on the internet, that it is valued, and that, or it goes to the wall. And if the performing arts go to the wall, we've got no Netflix, ordinary TV, music, live performance of any kind. It all disappears, and with that disappear even the news technicians for the TV news or anything like that, because everyone's moved on to other things because it's not sustainable. And at that point you've lost what effectively makes lockdown possible. I like to watch my films, read my books, look back at theatre plays online, and if you take all that away, we're just basically sat in a prison cell. So it's very important that support is considered for the actors. We're not all from wealthy backgrounds. A lot of us are from working class backgrounds who've worked and trained for years, in my case and the case of many others in my company, decades, to work in this industry. And while yes, we'd have transferable skills and that, I don't think it's fair to sweep an entire industry under the carpet from people who work very hard, produce very good quality work, outstanding world-class work. We, as a small company in Devon, are working with actors and technicians in 3 to 4, depending on the project, different countries. So, you know, if we can do that down here in Devon, surely other companies, much bigger ones, are able to do that even more than we are. And, you know, you're denying the country and the culture of the UK. You're completely destroying and denying it, which seems appalling. So I hope, if you ever watch this, Oliver Dowden, that you'll take some time to look at how the logistics for theatre works, look at the benefits, the collaborations, the international culture, promoting the UK, because at the end of the day, if our films and theatre and music go out around the world, that is creating a very good image of the UK and of the people in the UK within the media. After all, everything we learn about the world these days tends to be media-based. You know, really sit down and think about this rather than dismissing it. As I heard a certain quote a while ago, those effing ballerinas can get to the back of the queue. It's not like that. And it would be very good if you informed yourself. You can get in touch with me if you want, and I'll talk about it. Anyway, thank you. Have a nice day, everyone.